Let's look at exercise 12. On this one, substitution isn't the best method because if I were to solve it for either x or y, I'd have some messy looking fractions in there. So what we want to do instead is solve this by elimination. You can either pick your x's or your y's to get rid of. I'm going to go ahead and pick the x's because they already have a factor of 3 in common. So what I want to do is basically look at 9 and 6, and it's just like they were fractions and you're trying to get a common denominator, and the common denominator between 9 and 6 would be 18. So to get 18 for the x's on the top, we're going to multiply this by negative 3, and on the bottom we'd multiply that times 2, or I could switch the signs on those, it doesn't really matter. So when I do that, my two new equations are negative 18x plus 15y equals negative 27. And on the second one, I'd have 18x minus 14y equals 30. Now I can just add up my two equations. My x's disappear. 15y minus 14y just gives me y. Add these up, and 30 minus 27 is 3. So there I've got my first part of my answer. Now just pick either one of those equations and substitute 3 in for y. Find out what x is. Let's take the top equation. So 6x minus 5 times 3 equals 9. It's just 15. 6x minus 15 equals 9. Add the 15 over, which is 24. Divide by 6, which is 4. Write your final answer as an ordered pair, 4, 3. Okay, let's try number 13. It's a quadratic equation. It's already in standard form, so let's try to factor it. If I'm going to factor it, my product should be this last number here, negative 30. The sum of those two factors has to be the middle term, which is negative 7. What times what gives me negative 30, and then adds up to negative 7. It's got to be some combination of 10 and 3. I want a negative 10, so they add up to negative 7, positive 3. Since this leading term up here has a coefficient of 1, you don't have to expand the middle term. You just use these two factors inside the parentheses, x minus 10 and x plus 3 equals 0. Set them both equal to 0, so x minus 10 equals 0, so x is 10. The second one, x plus 3 equals 0, so x is negative 3. Of course, you do enough of these, you don't have to go through all this process. You just go, oh, it's the opposite of that negative 10, it's got to be positive 10. It's the opposite of this negative, this positive 3, so it's got to be negative 3.